What's up, guys? Jeremy here with Rocket City YGO. We have a deck profile for you today. What's your name, man, and what did you play?
Name's Clay Birch. I played the fourth best mid-range deck in the format, Vanquish. Yep, gotta love it.
Oh, man, what were we playing for today?
We went to this Tier 1 gaming event in Franklin to play for a free hotel trip to the next big event of our choice, which is going to be Nationals.
That's awesome.
Crazy.
That's awesome, man. Well, let's get right into it. Unless you have any shout-outs first.
Shout-outs to Rocket City YGO. Shout-out to the man behind the camera, Jerry McDaniel. I'm sexiest man on the planet.
All right, too good to me.
Henny, guy who rode with me. And Jordan, who was also in Top Cut along with Henny. And then Connor, who was there.
All right, Connor, who was there. All right, man, sounds great. Let's get into it.
All right, so as I said before, played Vanquish Soul. So I'll get right into it. Yu-Gi-Oh! All right, so played 3 Rosin. Obvious. If you don't draw this card, your deck is actually awful. 3 Mad Love. So interestingly enough, it's like a lot of people are cutting this card to 2. The main reason that I play 3 in the main deck is because of the bounce effect. It kind of destroys like certain decks, like Pearly, because it just non-target bounces the monster with the lowest defense on the field, which is pretty crazy in the format that we're in right now. Because none of the Unchained monsters have more than 1500 defense, so this never bounces your own cards. Next, 3 Borger. This guy says draw a card on it. You can use it to tag out against target effect negation against like Imperm Valor, which is not bad. And then 2 Caesar. So this guy is the main boss monster deck. You play 2 because this guy is like the biggest SP target on the planet. And if you don't have an Earth monster, he just gets blinked forever. So this is how you win the grind games, like this, and then this guy. So if you have all 3 of these set up, you get a draw, a pop, and an ed every single turn. So you will literally just snowball out of advantage. And then we play 1 Pantera because we need the level 4 Earth monster. You can do some cheeky stuff like OTK with this because you can special summon if you control just Vanquish Souls in your main monster zone or nothing. But it's mainly just another Earth target.
All right, very nice, very nice.
All right, so that's all the Vanquish Soul monsters. Next, we have 3 copies of Vanquish Soul Fenrir and a copy of the guy that you reveal off Stake Your Soul to summon Rosin. You can do some interesting stuff like summoning this as an extender and making a Baguska with it because it's a 4, but that practically never comes up. You do it if your hand's super cracked and you're playing as a deck that loses to it. And then 1 Kurikara. Besides the fact that it's a fire monster, there's also that part where it's like, I want to have a main deck out that I can just draw to out like a 7 Met Noir, because Pearly is this deck's hardest matchup because of the fact that they sit on an 8 material towers that I can't out normally. Next, the main reason the deck is not the worst right now. We played 12 hand traps, 3 Ash, 3 Crow, 3 Valor, and then 3 Imperm. So Ash is good against everything. It's also a fire, so it works well with the engine. Crow is a dark. It has a bunch of like niche applications. Like it helps you against the Pearly matchup. It helps you against Tier, and it helps you against Unchained. And then you take it out against Rescue Ace because it's like playing with 4 cards. And then 6 forms of target effect negation. I actually think that target effect negation is insane in this format. You can tell because if you Valor the Rescue Ace Die Bellstar, 8% of the time they pass, which is nice.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you wanted to play something like this originally when you were playing Tier because you could play a lot of interruption non-engine-wise, correct?
Yeah, the worst part about Tier is that if you lose the roll, because your deck is so full of engine, you have to watch them play for 18 minutes. So if you're playing as a hard combo deck, it's like, sure, if you open the God Hand, you'll be able to break it, but if you don't, then it's going to be difficult going forward. And then in game 3, they're going to make Dweller. You can't play it. You can't beat that.
Fair enough.
That's like the worst part about Tier. But if I had, I think, like some more testing, I'll probably play Tier again. Just haven't figured it out. This deck's a lot easier to play. Next, 3 Stake Your Soul. So, general thing with this card, you reveal an attribute in your hand, special summon one from your deck that has the same attribute but a different name from the cards you revealed. So any fire, is Rosin, unless you open like a combination of fires and you summon Jialong, you start adding a shit ton of cards to your hand, which is nice. Any dark is Borger because you can cheese draw into a way to search Rosin, or just hard draw the Rosin anyway and burn your normal summon. But during the end phase, the monster you summon with it bounces out, so that's something to keep in mind. Next, 3 Prosperity. So this conflicts with Borger. It doesn't matter because digging for 6 is better than drawing 1 anyway. The only time it sucks is if you have to dig to start your combo, but at the end of your combo, it's insane.
And you can just draw on your opponent's turn anyway.
Yeah, which is nice. The other copy of Rosin.
Of course.
I don't play Durindal because I actually think that card's terrible. If you don't open Stake Your Soul with like Borger or Fenrir, you have to burn your normal summon on it, and then it's just bad.
What's the point? Yeah.
Next, Call by the Grave. Unfortunately, this deck loses to Droll and Lockbird, which everybody and their mama is citing for decks that aren't you. So playing this actually came up a lot because you can do some cheeky stuff with it against like Unchained. Like when they pop the Link 2 and then try and summon back with Yama, you can banish it, and they don't get the add or the summon, which is pretty crazy.
That's nice.
And then the 2 Vanquish Soul spells and traps is what you search off Mad Love. This is Reborn for 500 as a quick play spell card. Usually you'll do it during the draw phase of your opponent's turn to get an extra search. You can add it to your hand too, which doesn't really come up. This card, you only really search it if your hand's cracked, but if you do, you reveal 3 attributes. It's a burn for 18 and an entire board wipe, which beats most things because you're out advantaging them so hard anyway. So that was the main deck.
Very nice. 40 cards?
41.
41,
Yeah.
okay.
The 41st card was called by.
I see.
Yep. So you want the deck to be consistent, but not too consistent. Next on to the extra deck. Here's the only card you care about. 3 Rock.
3 rock.
You're making this every single game. People could say you banished off Prosperity or you only need to play 2. Those people are liars because I've actually played multiple games where you burn through 3 of these. Mainly because this format is like, there's a lot of target removal, and this guy is a magnet for removal because they can't swing over him if he has affected his life. Yeah. Next, cards you don't make like very often. Phoenix, just out rivalry if you can make it with Fiends somehow.
Co-link with rock.
Yeah. Yes, the co-link's nice. IP, never made it. It's nice if you open like a ton of extenders because you set up IP into this. I have made this card once. It was redundant, but it was nice. It conflicts with something in this side, but I'll get to, but it doesn't really matter at all. Unicorn, this is if you burn this, and then you can use this to make this. It doesn't come up ever, but it's there if you need it. Also, you can co-link to this card and then draw 2 during your draw phase, which I think I've done once total. And then link 5 for Goddess. So the reason that we still play Curry Card in the main deck, even though this is technically a Noir out, is because putting 4 monsters on the board with this deck is really, really resource intensive, and usually you'll just lose to the follow-up anyway, which is kind of unfortunate. So that was all the Link monsters. Next, Xyz monsters. Played 1 Typhon. This is mainly for the combo decks because you can just slap anything on the board and then make this on top of it. It doesn't out like an established board, but if you hand trap them to death, but they're able to make like a board technically, then this will basically just win the game. Dweller, this is for Unchained and Tier. You can force make this with Continue if you need to, but most of the time if you open enough hand traps, it doesn't matter. Baguska, this is for Pearly. You can do some cheeky stuff with Jialong in this and Borger. Because you can just switch this to attack position, change the defense position on your opponent's turn with Jialong's secret effect, and then burn them for 9,000 with Borger before the Baguska expires. And then finally, the ability to make a format 6, which is really the only thing that you really care about. Wizards have not made this at all since I started playing the deck again. And then 1 Baron, because at your level 3 hand trap, you play 6 level 7s, you can special summon for free.
I see. Okay, very nice, very nice.
All right, next is the side. So we have 3 Droll. Need this for the combo matchups. Need 3 Nib. Need this for every matchup that isn't Pearly. Going second cards, we got Change of Hearts, Harpy's Feather Duster, 2 Lightning Storms, and 2 evenly matched. So you'll side this in against like any kind of back row deck. And then this is good as a board breaker against like more mid-range decks, like Unchained. You can just steal the Caesar, and if they try and link with your stuff with a bomb, you just negate it, which is really nice. And then this is good against like everything is in a hard combo deck.
Sure.
And then finally, the only like real go first card in this deck is 3 Tikaboo. So this isn't in the main deck because, in all honesty, I hate this card in the main deck. All the mid-range decks that this is really good against, if you go second against them, this is a blank card. It does nothing because Pearly will just like spin it with Noir. Unchained has like 4 ways to pop it, and then the other 2 decks, Rescue Ace and Tier, they don't care about this card at all. But if you're going first against like certain matchups, there isn't really a card better than this. Like, it destroys Pearly, it destroys Unchained, but you never want to draw this going second. And it's good against a bunch of like really weird mid-range matchups that people really enjoy playing, like Sword Soul for whatever reason.
That makes sense. All right, man. Appreciate the profile. Looks real solid. Any last thoughts?
Let's see. No, not really.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Take care.